Welcome back. This will be part 2.5 of the camera overview, or the camera streaming, recording, etc. Series. That's because I forgot the users button. I'm sorry about that. I do usually want to keep everything in one video, but as I forgot it, I'll make this a separate video, or maybe I'll do some editing. Who knows? I'm just going to record this and keep going. So let's hop over to Smooth POV here. You'll see I've still got the camera control UI open, and the users menu here is the only one I didn't cover, so let's go ahead and open it. As I'm the only user in this world, you'll only see me, but I assure you if there are other users in the world, they will be listed here. Let's go over what these settings do. Before that, I'm going to move it a little bit closer. Let's make sure we've got a good framing on the video. It's kind of hard to sort of record this thing, as I've said. So you'll see, first of all, that you've got their username. This will again be populated with other people if other people are in the world. And then to the right of that, you've got the microphone modes, which you can set for the user. These don't change their actual microphone mode. These are like a local override just for you, the person that's recording, which means it's super useful if you've got people sort of spread out or you want to mute someone just for the recording. You can totally do that. I'll go through the options here because one is totally unclear, which is this sort of dark gray square. That means default, or what they've got it set to. Usually if they've got it set to normal, that's normal. But then the options here are mute, which will mute them. Actually not sure if you can hear me, so I'm going to off that one. So I'll set it again just in case I was muted, because that is mute. You won't be able to hear them on the camera. This is shout, which means they'll be a little bit louder. You can hear them from further distances. And then this is broadcast, which will force them to broadcast. Shout and broadcast are great for sort of longer shots where you're maybe filming someone that's further away, or you want someone sort of narrating a scene, sort of, you know, narrator documentary, David Attenborough style. To the right of that is the volume slider. This will again overwrite the volume just for you of the user. So you can, you know, mix people however you want to do in your audio levels. And then to the right of that are these great buttons here. These took me quite a while to figure out. I think I had to actually ask in the end. They are what control the group setting. So I talked about groups in the previous video, but just to go over it, it's a camera mode that's featured up here, which will attempt to get as many people in a group onto the shot for the camera as possible. And this can influence how it works. So on the left here is don't include or try not to include, which basically means ignore for the purposes of group calculations. In the middle here, which is the default, it means try to include, but don't include if you can't. So, you know, best effort. And then to the right here is this green circle, which means always include. This is useful for sort of group-based maps where you're going through like maybe an adventure map and you want to go on group modes. You can catch everyone sort of running through the adventure map. An example here would be Jax's MMC entry, Tale of Two Worlds. You would probably set the green dot here on the host user, or the user which is the primary user of the experience, such that they would always be included in the group shot, but you know, no one else would be or would need it to be. You know, it would always just try and focus on them. I don't play around with this much. Like I said, I don't use group that much. I do want to use it again, but to do that, I really need to do more recording with multiple people. Looking forward to doing some of that. To the right, that is the cog. I believe this allows other people to control the camera. I'm not quite sure how this works, but I'm sure it allows them to grab it if it's in manual mode. I think it's similar to allow anyone to interact, which is up there in the settings menu. I don't use that one, so I can't really speak authoritatively about it. If you know how it works, drop a comment below and I'll pin it. To the right of that is the eye. This one may be a little bit controversial, but we can talk about it, and it's been in here for a long time, so if you're not aware of it by now, I'm sorry, but this has been a feature for a while. This lets you view the perspective of the camera from another user. So to explain that, if you go ahead and go to a world that's got multiple people, then drop down this menu here, you can view the smooth POV or third person view of another user. So for example here, let's say, I don't know, let's say Fruix is over in the corner doing some magic. I could hit the eye here and leave it on smooth POV, and I would see the smooth POV output of what he's looking at. That's why it might be controversial, because people might not want that. I would advise you to ask them, or at least be clarified that you're doing that before you do it. Otherwise, you know, it could be seen as a little bit rude. You're just like, you know, following someone around. If you do this in third person, you have your camera visible. It will also hover a camera in front of them. I do this as a sort of party trick sometimes, where I put it in third person mode. I'm never recording. I would never do that, but I put it in front of them because it is my mask, so it kind of just hovers a red glow mask in front of them. And then I can use the distance slider to bring it closer and further away, which is just something creepy I was doing for Halloween. Like I said, I would never record that. I usually only record by myself in private worlds like I'm in today. If this bothers you so much that you're really want to do something about it, you can. Let me go and show you how to do that. So we're going to hop back into a sort of normal tutorial mode here, and we're going to go into a permission option. So if we go up to the top of the world hierarchy, I'll also link the permission series in the description. You can go down here to, let's say, spectator permissions, and then you can scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I think it's on spectator. Is it on spectator? This is an old world, so it won't have it, but we can go ahead and add it. Except I forgot where the permissions items are. Maybe they're in uncategorized. We'll check. We'll find it. If you're in a new world, this will be added by default. If you're in an old world, you can just add this, or you can copy it from another world. Starts with key C. So let's go ahead. Camera. Nope. Okay. I don't really know where you are. Oh, permissions, of course. Camera permissions. Woohoo! There it is. Sorry, I didn't notice the permissions folder existed there. I don't really add permission components that much. I also don't suggest you get into the habit of doing it. So here it is. When you add it, you'll see that there is a few options on this one. This one is quite new, so it's not included in the permission series, but I'll include it now. Right down the bottom here, allow framing others. If you uncheck that, it will prevent that role from using that I button, so you can stop them from framing people. Additionally covered here, which I'm going to go over, is the camera modes here. You can set this to a blacklist or whitelist, a bit like the other permissions components, but what this basically allows you to do is prevent people from using certain camera modes. This is great for round-based arenas where you're trying to figure out who the imposter is. Wink, wink, Max. Hope you heard this shout out. You should disable smooth first person. No, you shouldn't disable smooth first person, but you might want to disable third person or group or world or something like that, because you could leave cameras throughout there. So for Max's map that he's building, I would recommend you do whitelist and then first person only, so people can only basically see first person of their own perspective, and allow framing others should be unchecked. You can of course overwrite that for the admin and builder mode. If you want to do a sort of spectator view using the camera control window, that's fine. But if you don't have this set up, then people can just spawn out the camera control menu and go ahead and go through the users and see who's killing each other in their map that they're building. So there's a note on that one. You can also set it to a blacklist here if you want to be a little bit more exclusive here and say, hey, you can't use third person for whatever reason, but everything else is okay. That's up to you. If you've got any questions on that one, or you want me to double check your world's all right, I can do that. If you have other questions on that one, do let me know. I know that one is kind of a surprise. I did actually forget that that was a thing, but I just remembered before I was about to sort of cut the video off here. That is the users panel. Like I said, you can go through it and basically do a lot of sort of advanced filming and framing that you really can't do on any other platform that I've seen, or at least that easily. I, again, cannot thank the Neos team enough for this panel. It has made every one of the 200 or so videos that I've recorded. I love it. I use it pretty much every day whenever I'm recording videos, and it's made making content for me really easy, or at least video content. I make other types of content. I'll see you next time. We'll be covering camera anchors next. Let's get started on that one. Bye-bye.